Let's read this. Okay. If every Kender on the face of Kryn had been asked to name places I'd most like to visit, um, the plane of existence where the Queen of Darkness dwelled would have to come in at least third on many lists. But now here was Tasselhoff barefoot, standing in the waiting room of the great and terrible Queen, standing in one of the most interesting places known to man or Kender, and he had never felt unhappier in his life. Oh, I just talked to her and was like, "I'll walk with you if you want. I'll fly there and walk to LA with you." Um, first, the room the gray the gray-haired, black-robed cleric told him to stay in was completely empty. There weren't any tables with interesting little objects on them. There weren't any chairs, which was why he was standing. There weren't any walls. In fact, the only way he knew he was in a room at all was that when the cleric told him to stay in the waiting room, Tass suddenly felt he was in a room. But as far as he could see, he was standing in the middle of nothing. He wasn't even certain at this point which way was up or which way was down. Both looked alike, an eerie, glowing, flame-like color. He tried to comfort himself by telling himself over and over that he was going to meet the Dark Queen. He recalled stories Tanis told about meeting the Queen in the Temple of Naraka. Temple at Naraka? I told her stories about how the conservatives met me in Sandpoint. That makes sense. I was surrounded by a great darkness, Tanis had said, and even though it was months after the experience, his voice still trembled. But it seemed more of a darkness of my own mind than any actual physical presence. True. Couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. Then the darkness lifted, and she spoke to me. Well, the girl I was staying with, we agreed on something short term when I moved in with her. She had a house, and that was cool. Anyways. So, her name is Sierra, and I guess what they did inspired the Macintosh operating system to be called Sierra, and they started the new Mayan calendar with High Sierra. It's funny, because my name is Adam, so she was calling herself a Mexicant, because we're right next to Canada, so can't Adam, Adam can't. Because of Candida. But she was, yeah, she didn't really know about all that. I heard her in my mind. I saw her in all her forms: the five-headed dragon, the dark warrior, the dark temptress, for she was not completely in the world yet. She had not yet gained control. I was not even aware of Tacitus at this point. I don't think I ever even been on Twitch before. Tass remembered Tanis shaking his head. Still, her majesty and might were very great. She is, after all, a goddess, one of the creators of the world. Her dark eyes stared into my soul, and I couldn't help myself. I sank to my knees and worshipped her. Hmm, interesting. I sank to my knees and worshipped her. My girlfriend trained me how to get a girl off during this point. And now he, Tasselhop Barefoot, was going to meet the queen as she was in her own plane of existence, strong and powerful. Perhaps she'll appear as the five-headed dragon, Tess said to cheer himself up. But even that wonderful prospect, I I've been better. I need to find a place to live, um, and a job, like a part-time something. I need to have money to invest. I need to have more money to invest in stuff. Um, should be easy. It should be easy. It should have been easy a year ago. So, perhaps she'll appear as a five-headed dragon. That would represent drugs. Tass said to cheer himself up. That's representing the nuisance side of my friend. But even that wonderful prospect didn't help, though he had never seen a five-headed anything before, much less a dragon. Yeah, she's very against rape. It was as if all the spirit of adventure and curiosity were oozing out of the Kender, like blood dripping from a wound. I'll sing a bit, he said to himself, just to hear the sound of his own voice. That generally raises my spirits. He began to hum the first song that came into his head, a hymn to the dawn that Goldmoon had taught him. A goth song my sister showed her. I wonder what it is. That's funny. My sister was really into goth music. Um, she spent a lot of time, um, she spent a lot of time, um, but buying goth stuff. She had like back when it started or when it got bigger, um, she got into it. Um, we were younger than everybody, and but she spent so much money. She had like 3 closets full of corsets and stuff like that. She wouldn't. She was too scared to be seen wearing the same thing twice. And everything she wear was like ridiculously expensive. And so she seriously spent all of her money on that. And CDs. She had a bunch of CDs. And back then, that was before people were getting music with a computer and stuff. Um, he began to hum the first song that came into his head, a hymn to the dawn that Goldmoon had taught him. A hymn to the dawn? Even the night must fail, for light sleeps in the eyes, and dark becomes dark on dark until the darkness dies. So that becomes like becoming naked. Soon the eye resolves complexities of night into stillness where the heart falls into fabled light. It kind of feels like it goes along with something I was thinking about last night. I think it's appropriate to share, though. It's about famous people or whatever. Tass was just starting in on the second verse when he became aware, to his horror, that his song was echoing back to him. Only the words were now twisted and terrible. Even the night must fail, when light sleeps in the eyes, when dark becomes dark on dark. When light sleeps in the eyes. And into darkness dies. Soon the eye dissolves, perplexing by the teasing night, into a stillness of the heart, a fable of fallen light. Stop it, cried Tass frantically into the eerie, burning silence that resounded with his song. I didn't mean to say that. It did kind of sound like a goth song, huh? With startling suddenness, the black-robed cleric materialized in front of Tasselhoff, seeming to coalesce out of the bleak surroundings. Her dark majesty will see you now, the cleric said, and before Tasselhoff could blink, he found himself in another place. He knew it was another place, not because he had moved a step, or even because this place was different from the last place, but that he felt he was someplace else. Like Bedford. There was still the same weird glow, the same emptiness, except now he had the impression he wasn't alone. The moment he realized this, what are they saying? My Twitch was blocked. The moment he realized this, he saw a black, smooth wooden chair appear. Its back to him. Seating in it was a figure dressed in black, a hood pulled up over its head. Thinking perhaps some mistake had been made, and that the cleric had taken him to the wrong place, Tasselhoff gripped his pouches nervously in his hand, walked cautiously around the chair to see the figure's face. So chair would mean taking away marriage from somebody. Or perhaps the chair turned to see his face. Then Kidner wasn't certain. But as the chair moved, the figure's face came into view. Tasselhoff knew no mistake had been made. It was not a 5-headed dragon he saw. It was not a huge warrior in black, burning armor. It was not even the dark temptress who so haunted Raceland's dreams. It was, actually, that's true. I did start dreaming about Fort Girl while I was with this girl, but it was never intimate, as far as I can tell. I would wake up feeling like my friend was gone, because we would be talking all night. It was a woman dressed in all black, a tight-fitting hood. I actually shared that on Facebook, that I was looking for the flower girl, I called her. The flower girl. It was a woman dressed in all black, a tight-fitting hood pulled up over her hair, framing her face in a black oval. Her skin was white and smooth and ageless, her eyes dark, large and dark. Her arms, encased in tight black cloth, rested on the arms of her chair. Her white hands curved calmly around the ends of the armrests. I've wondered if maybe in the future that girl would maybe be neighbors or something, and maybe with her partner we would get together and play Amber Entertainment Omniverse or whatever. That would not surprise me because it is like seriously the best. It needs to be published. What I came up with is the best. I spent all my time on it. And after I shared its worth online on Facebook, somebody broke into my car and stole papers that were worth seriously, like each piece of paper sometimes took 40 hours. It was really devastating to lose all that. But not a big deal though, because I could get it all back. And, you know, the next time I make it, it would be better. It was a woman, blah, 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 blah. A black oval that is represented changing, or being teased to change. Her skin was white and smooth and ageless, her eyes dark and large. Her arms, encased in tight black cloth, rested on the arms of her chair. Her white hands curved calmly around the arms of her armrests. The expression on her face was not horrifying, nor terrifying, nor threatening, nor awe-inspiring. It was, in fact, not even an expression at all. Yet Tass was aware that she was scrutinizing him intensely, delving into his soul, studying parts of him that he wasn't even aware of existed. I'm Tasselhoff Barefoot, my majesty, said the Kender, reflexively stretching out his small hand. Too late, he realized his offense, and started to withdraw his hand and bow. But then he felt the touch of 5 fingers in his palm. It was a brief touch, but Tass might have grabbed a handful of nettles. 5 stinging branches of pain shot through his arm and bore into his heart, making him gasp. What was that? But as swiftly as they touched him, they were gone. He found himself standing very close to the lovely pale woman, and so mild was the expression in her eyes that Tass might well have doubted she was the cause of the pain, except that looking down at his palm, he saw a mark there, like a 5-pointed star. That means she wanted to meet me. Tell me your story, Tass started. The woman's lips had not moved, but he heard her speak. He realized, also, sudden in fright, that she probably knew more of his story than he did. Isn't this a weird, interesting way to read a book? It's so cool. So interesting. Just measuring my thoughts while reading and using addition and comparing it to everything that's gone on and measuring the synchronicity or whatever. It's so weird. Tell me your story, Tass started. The woman's lips had not moved, but he heard her speak. He realized also, in sudden fright, that she probably knew more of his story than he did. Sweating, clutching his pouches nervously, Tasselhoff Burfoot made history that day, at least as far as Kinder storytelling was concerned. He told the entire story of his trip to Istar in under 5 seconds, and every word was true. Istar? That would mean meeting a famous person. A trip there? It was probably Burning Man. Parsalian accidentally sent me back in time with my friend Caramon. Parsalian is the head of the Wizards. Parsalian has represented the owner of Twitch or something like that. I mean, every character always like will represent several people. It's it's just always like in the moment. It's pretty cool. We were going to kill Phistodonolus, only we discovered what? Why would they want to kill my dad? It was Raceland, so we didn't. They didn't kill him because I was going to stop the cataclysm with a magical device. Stop the atomic bomb. But Raceland made me break it. I followed a cleric named Lady Chrysania down to a laboratory. I don't know what the cataclysm actually is. It kind of has represented getting married and having kids and how it changes your life and everything completely changes. Maybe, I don't know. I followed a cleric named Lady Chrysania down to the laboratory beneath the Temple of Istar to find Raceland and make him fix the device. The roof caved in and knocked me out. When I woke up, I had all left me. They had all left me, and the cataclysm struck, and now I'm dead, and I've been sent to the abyss. So dead might mean not having children, and then sent to the abyss might be lonely and watching us on the monitor. That's sad. Well, I mean, I would totally go there, and that'd be cool to walk. we could get in costumes, and you know, she definitely looks like Tasselhoff Burfoot. It's the only person that could fit that too. There's really nobody else that would, have that look. She has because I mean, when she was younger, maybe not now so much, I don't really know. But when she was younger, she probably still looks the same though. Well, I saw her kind of recently. She still looks the same. But I mean, yeah, that'd be really funny to do. The Lady Lorana, though, would be better. Dressing her up as the Lady Lorana. Tasselhoff drew a deep, quivering breath and mopped his face with the end of his long top knot of hair. Tasselhoff drew a deep, quivering breath and mopped his face with the end of his long top knot of hair. It means... Never mind. Then, realizing his last comment had been less than complimentary, me hastened to add, "Not that I'm complaining, Your Majesty. She's too picky. I'm certain whoever did this must have had quite a good reason." Well, I mean, she was into girls. But I'm sure I could find... There's actually a lot more people in LA. Um, I don't know. She was very talented. After all, I did break a dragon orb, and I seem to recall once someone I took something that didn't belong to me, and I wasn't as respectful as Flint as I should have been, of course. And once, for a joke, I hid Caramon's clothes while he was taking a bath, and he had to walk into Solace stark naked. She made fun of his clothing, is what it means. And so he changed his look because he didn't want to look like he was from Utah. I get it, because Solace is Utah. But Tass could not help a snuffle. I always helped Fizban find his hat. She helped them make money. You are not dead. She didn't know that. You are not dead, said the voice, nor have you been sent here. You are not, in fact, supposed to be here at all. At this startling revelation, Tasselhoff looked up directly into the Queen's dark and shadowy eyes. I'm not, he squeaked, feeling his voice go all queer. Not dead? Involuntarily, he put his hand to his head, which still ached. So that explains it. I just thought someone had botched things up. Kinder are not allowed here, continued the voice. That doesn't surprise me. That would mean um, a drug, a person on opiates. That doesn't surprise me, Tass said sadly, feeling much more himself since he wasn't dead. That means it's not too late to have children. Maybe. There are quite a number of places on Kryn Kinder aren't allowed. The voice might not have heard him. When you entered the laboratory of Fistodonolus, you were protected by, that would mean getting it legally from a doctor. You were protected by the magical enchantment he had laid on the place. The, that would mean, she's legal. The rest of Istar was plunged far below the ground. They call it magical, so it's like reminding us how it's messed up, and it's not like good enough, because of spelling and how he still, might use language improperly by saying negative and present tense or future tense when we should have been taught that it only goes in past tense. The rest of Istar was plunged far below the ground at the time the cataclysm struck. But I was able to save the temple of the king priest. When I am ready, I will return to the world, as will I myself. But you won't win, said Tass before he thought. I know. I know. He stuttered as the dark-eyed gaze shot right through him. I was there. TH, the there, would be this thing, sort of. No, you are not there, for that has not happened yet. You see, Kender, by disrupting Parsalian's spell, you have made it possible to alter time. Physodonolus, or Raistlin, as you know him, told you this. That was why he sent you to your death. Or so he supposed. Huh? Don't be illegal or you'll die. Is that what that means? He did not want time altered. The cataclysm was necessary to him so that he could bring this cleric of Paladine forward to a time when he will have the only true cleric in the land. Wait, what? He did not want time altered. The cataclysm was necessary to him so that he could bring this cleric of Paladine forward to a time when he will only have when he will have the only true cleric in the land. That's really interesting right there. Because we both feel betrayed. It seemed to Tasselhoff that he saw for the first time a flicker of dark amusement in the woman's shadowy eyes. He shivered without understanding why. How soon you will come to regret that decision, Phistodonolus, my ambitious friend. But it is too late. Poor puny mortal. You have made a mistake, a costly mistake. You are locked in your own time loop. You rush forward to your own doom. I don't understand, cried Tass. Yes, you do, said the voice calmly. Your coming has shown me the future. You have given me the chance to change it. And by destroying you, Phistodonolus has destroyed his only chance of breaking free. What? His body will perish again, as he perished long ago. That's like saying he doesn't deserve to be, I don't know, put in the category of junkies or whatever. His body will perish again, and he perished long ago. Only this time, when his soul seeks another body to house it, I will stop him. Thus, the young mage Raistlin in the future will take the test in the tower of high sorcery, and he will die there. He will not live to thwart my plans. One by one, the others will die. For without Raistlin's help, that would mean having a drug overdose. For without Raistlin's help, Goldmoon will not find the blue crystal staff. That means Facebook. Thus, the beginning of the end for the world. No, Tass whimpered, horror-stricken. This can't be. I didn't mean to do this. I just wanted to go with Carmen on this adventure. Those words are so funny. I is bringing justice. Tutu is bringing this to her. On is loving nobody else. Because the letter O is sharing and surrounding, and the letter N is loving for children. He could have made it alone. He needed me. I wish I was younger, right? The Kender stared around frantically, seeking some escape. But though there seemed everywhere to run, there was nowhere to hide. It didn't seem like we ever really clicked well, though, because she never liked the Amber Entertainment. She always hated that. She would never let me do it. She was always like against it. She called it stupid boy stuff. It's so weird. Ah, menopause. It's got to be something that's horrible. I mean, I it feels like I'm kind of facing it too because the people my age are freaking out, because you only have like so much time before they can have kids or whatever. So it's like totally um, freaking people out. It's scary. He couldn't have made it alone. He needed me. So he means um, he needs help selecting somebody. The Kender stared around frantically, seeking some escape. But though there seemed everywhere to run, there was nowhere to hide. Dropping to his knees before the black clothed woman, Tass stared up at her. What have I done? What have I done? He cried frantically. You have done such that even Paladine might be tempted to turn his back upon you, Kender. Huh. Well, um, that means like it's more difficult for her now to go on like a dating website and have somebody pay for her, pay for everything. She used to always get people to pay for everything. So bad. Seriously. That was bad. I mean, not like that's not totally true, but it's still it's too much. Not guys though. So, it's not like they're paying for her, but well, I mean, um, never mind. They weren't. I was saying she was a lesbian, but it was true that she um only worked when she had to. What will you do to me? Sab Tass sobbed wretchedly. Where will I go? He lifted a tear streaked face. That's scary. That's true too. She should work for me. I don't suppose you could send me back to Caramon or go or back to my own time. Your time no longer exists. As for sending you to Caramon, that is impossible. That means moving to Washington. As you surely must understand, she probably does want to go to Seattle. No, you will remain here with me, so I may ensure that nothing goes wrong. Yeah, more than Portland, probably. Here, Tass gasped. How long? Okay, it's bigger. The woman began to fade before his eyes. Her friend, we played music together, and we were going to like tour Europe and all this stuff. And she had a lot of friends. Her her friend married the guitar player of the Cure, and they would write each other or whatever. So we were going to. Um, she like planned out all this stuff, and she would spend time figuring out like how we could go to Prague and buy soap for 7 cents or whatever, and stay with the Cure, and the Pink Dots offered some hospitality or some help if we went there or whatever. That was pretty exciting. But I had a party at my house, and the people couldn't really. Um, it. I got busted. My house was raided. I had a party at my house, and then my house was raided, and I had weed. It was really stupid. Anyways, they like pretty much ruined my life, but not. Oh well. The woman began to fade before his eyes. I mean, because I would have been discovered or whatever a really long time ago, but it really put a hold on everything. Drugs were worse, though, definitely. I think I should have just. I wish I could have just go back and just go through the process and obey it. I mean, I wasn't even into drugs, so what was my deal? I felt like I needed weed to fall asleep so I could get up early in the morning. Was the real was really what was going on, and I just felt like I don't know. It's so weird because why I even like weed because I can't really do it anymore. For the same reason that I couldn't really do it back then. It gives me panic attacks. Anyways, the woman began to fade before his eyes, shimmering and finally vanishing into the nothingness around him. Not long, I should imagine, Kender. Not long at all. Or perhaps always. What do you. What does this mean? What does she mean? Tass turned to face a gray haired cleric who had sprung up to fill the void left by her dark majesty. Not long or always. Not long or always? Though not dead, you are, even now, dying. Your life force is ebbing from you, as it must for any of the living who mistakenly venture down here, and who have not the power to fight the evil that devours them from within. When you are dead, the gods will determine your fate. Wait. Let me read this again. I wasn't thinking about it in the weird way. What does that mean? Not long or always. Though not dead, you are even now dying. It's like the clock's ticking. Your life force is ebbing from you, as it must for any of the living who mistakenly venture down here, and who have not the power to fight the evil that devours them from within. When you are dead, the gods will determine your fate. Interesting. So, gods have meant children because the last of mankind, we should, be doing things for them so that they survive, for the longest time possible. So, like, the swans will show God as a baby or something like that. It seems like, or like that's a common thing. So when they're saying, it's saying other children. If it's not going to be your own children, other children may end up taking care of you. So it's like warning her to have children now. I see, Tass said, choking back a lump in his throat. He hung his head. But don't think about me. That's impossible. I need to have like a lot of children. Like I want to find somebody younger that can give me enough. I see, said Tass, choking back a lump in his throat. He hung his head. I deserve it, I suppose. I deserve it, I suppose. Oh, Tanis, I'm sorry. I truly didn't mean to do it. That girl is too picky. Like in Utah, to think about the guys that she liked. There was only a couple. A few. The cleric gripped his arm painfully. The surroundings changed, but I wasn't good enough for her. I mean, she was always constantly trying to change me. I mean, I guess that's not whatever. Because she was, never mind. She wouldn't accept me as, she wouldn't accept, wow, it makes so much sense now. I always thought, I always used to say she wouldn't accept me being a boy or being a guy. What the heck? Wow, that's weird. Because she hated it that I wanted to play games and do the Amber Entertainment. She always hated that. And that was always our problem. That was why we didn't hook up. That's so weird to think about. What the heck? His eyes filled with tears. He gave himself up to dark despair and hoped death would come quickly. Wow. I'm so stupid, though. I shouldn't have saved myself like that. I saved myself for that girl too much. The girl's not even here. It's been blocked. What the hell? It's been paid to go against me. What the hell? I guess that's no surprise because I obviously shared too much and people were maybe wanting to finish what they started. Somebody broke into my car and took Amber Entertainment. That was really awful. Happened to be at where? An arcade. Happened to be at an arcade, which warns me never to want another girl, no matter how much they try to push me into it. I wouldn't want two girls in bed with me.